One question on ChatGPT uses 10 times more electricity than a Google search. Every single query. That number doesn't feel alarming until you multiply it. 1 billion daily queries. 2 billion. 5 billion by 2027, according to OpenAI's own projections. And suddenly, what felt like a footnote in your energy bill becomes a structural reality. AI is the fastest growing electricity consumer on the planet, and the infrastructure powering it has become, in ways most people still don't realize, the most contested geography in the world. In 2025, residential electricity prices in the United States jumped 7.1%, more than double the inflation rate. In Virginia, near the highest concentration of data centers in the country, wholesale electricity now costs 267% more than it did 5 years ago. In some states, prices topped 20% in a single year. Utilities across the country filed a record $31 billion in rate increase requests in 2025 alone. 1 year. There is a man building the machine behind all of this. His name is Sam Altman. He runs OpenAI. He is building, right now in Abilene, Texas, the largest AI infrastructure in human history. His project is called Stargate, $500 billion in announced investment, a 10 gigawatt target, enough electricity to power 7.5 million homes from a single initiative. In April 2026, someone threw a Molotov cocktail at his house at 3:45 in the morning. That is not where this story ends. 3 weeks before the Molotov landed, something had already happened in the deserts of the Middle East, something that almost nobody in the Western press covered properly, something that rewrote the definition of what AI infrastructure actually is, who owns it, who needs it, and who has decided to destroy it. Altman himself said it. The fear is justified. By the end of this, you'll understand what he was really admitting, and why it may be the most honest statement anyone in tech has made in years. For most of computing history, energy was an afterthought. Data centers existed, they used electricity, they were built near highways in industrial parks, and the people who thought about them professionally were facilities managers and network engineers, not energy economists, not military strategists. That changed around 2022 and accelerated past the point of quiet control in 2024. That year, global data centers consumed 415 terawatt hours of electricity, roughly what France uses in a full year. In 2025, that figure climbed to approximately 485 terawatt hours, a 17% increase at a time when total global electricity demand grew only 3%. AI-focused data centers specifically surged 50% in the same period. The IEA now projects this roughly doubles by 2030 to nearly 945 terawatt hours. That exceeds Japan's entire annual electricity consumption, not Japan's electricity growth. Japan's total. In advanced economies, AI alone will account for more than 20% of all electricity demand growth through the end of this decade. The efficiency argument that each query is getting cheaper is real but irrelevant. Yes, energy per AI task is declining rapidly, faster than almost any technology in history, but query volume is growing faster still. An AI agent, operating continuously and autonomously, uses roughly 10 times more power than a standard chatbot query. OpenAI is deploying millions of AI agents. Microsoft has embedded them across its entire product suite. Google, Amazon, Meta, the same. The math always runs in one direction. For households, the mechanism is simple and brutal. Utilities need to build new transmission lines and power plants to serve data center demand. That capital expenditure gets passed to customers, because that is how regulated utilities work everywhere, without exception. In Western Maryland, the average residential bill is expected to rise $18 a month from data center demand alone. In Ohio, $16. In Virginia, the state with the highest data center density in the country, one Carnegie Mellon study projects electricity generation costs rising up to 57% by 2030. Utilities filed a record $31 billion in rate increase requests in 2025. 1 year, $31 billion in new charges that will eventually reach your meter. Sam Altman is not building quietly. The Stargate project was announced in January 2025 with $500 billion in committed investment from OpenAI, Oracle, SoftBank, and Masayoshi Son's investment group. The number has since grown, over $850 billion in total planned spending across the initiative. The flagship campus in Abilene, Texas will alone draw 1.2 gigawatts, once all 8 AI factory halls are complete, enough to power 750,000 homes from a single building complex. A second Texas site in Shackelford County, 40 minutes away, adds another 1.4 gigawatts, powered entirely by 210 industrial gas generators running off the public grid. The 10 gigawatt Stargate target is equivalent, in power terms, to New York City and San Diego running simultaneously every day, all year. Altman has spoken publicly about needing 250 gigawatts by 2033, roughly half of Europe's all-time peak electricity demand, from a single private company, for AI. Andrew Chien, a computer scientist at the University of Chicago, put it plainly: computing could reach 10 to 12% of global power by 2030. He described the trajectory as both exciting and alarming. The public arrived at the math faster than the policy world did. A 2026 Gallup poll found 70% of Americans now oppose a data center being built near their home. An NBC News survey found only 26% of Americans view AI positively, less popular than the Democratic Party in the same poll. Communities stalled or blocked over $156 billion in planned data center construction in 2025 alone, spanning 48 separate projects. Maine passed a moratorium on any new data center requiring more than 20 megawatts, effective until 2027. At least 12 other states filed similar bills in early 2026. We'll come back to the 20-year-old who was carrying a list. That list matters. And remember that 10 gigawatt figure. In the third part of this video, that number is going to appear in a very different context. Not in a construction briefing, in a military one. 3 days before Sam Altman's house was attacked, a city councilman in Indianapolis named Ron Gibson came home to find 13 bullet holes in his residence. A note had been left at his door. 4 words: no data centers. Gibson had voted to approve a $500 million data center project in his district. Someone disagreed, with bullets. The FBI began tracking a pattern. On April 10, 2026, at 3:45 in the morning, a 20-year-old from Spring, Texas, named Daniel Alejandro Moreno-Gama, drove to Sam Altman's home on Russian Hill in San Francisco. He had constructed a homemade incendiary device. He threw it at the house. It bounced off and caused no structural damage. Security personnel extinguished the fire quickly, but Moreno-Gama wasn't finished. Later that morning, he walked to OpenAI's Mission Bay headquarters and threatened to burn the building down and kill everyone inside. He was carrying a chair when he attempted forced entry. When the FBI arrested him, they found a document he'd been carrying. Federal prosecutors describe it as a manifesto, a written statement detailing his belief that artificial intelligence will cause human extinction, and his argument that others should commit similar acts. The document contained the names and addresses of AI company CEOs, board members, and investors, a target list, physically printed, in his pocket. He was 20 years old. He had been writing about AI risk on a personal Substack for months, and was an active member of the activist group Pause AI's Discord channel. The FBI charged him with domestic terrorism. 3 days later, April 13, 2026, 2 additional suspects, ages 25 and 23, fired shots at Altman's home from a moving vehicle. They fled. They were later apprehended. 3 violent incidents, 2 at the same address, in 1 week. By mid-April, the Luigi Mangione comparison had become unavoidable. In December 2024, Mangione had fatally shot United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson on a Manhattan sidewalk, leaving a manifesto protesting the healthcare industry. What disturbed analysts wasn't the act, it was the reaction. Online, some people celebrated it quietly. Security firms reported a surge in executive protection requests so significant that one CEO coined a term for it, the Luigi effect. The same pattern was now emerging around AI. Georgetown professor Bruce Hoffman, who studies political violence, said something precise and unsettling. People are making a conscious choice of saying not all terrorism is bad when they identify with the perpetrator's motivations. He warned that this kind of violence is easy to start and difficult to control. It may be intended symbolically, but there is an actual kinetic manifestation of it that could cost someone their life. Sam Altman confirmed the attacks in a public statement. He wrote, and the phrasing matters, that the fear and anxiety about AI is justified. Not a denial, not a reassurance, not a call for calm, a concession. Silicon Valley began moving. Jensen Huang, CEO of NVIDIA, now travels with what witnesses describe as a full security phalanx. The information reported that Silicon Valley was embracing a new category of executive protection following the Altman attacks. Security firm World Protection Group stated that executives are more vulnerable than ever. What the security industry understood, and what the press underreported, was the breadth of what was already happening at the community level. By the end of 2025, the Soufan Center documented hundreds of local anti-AI opposition groups active across 42 U.S. states, with activity accelerating sharply in the second half of the year. That same center tracked a rising volume of violent rhetoric online, specifically targeting individuals involved in AI adoption and data center construction, rather than corporations or policies as abstract entities. Opposition was documented internationally: Malaysia, Spain, Finland, France, Chile, the Netherlands. A poll published in March 2026 found 64% of Americans say AI development is moving too fast. Gen Z excitement about AI had dropped 14 percentage points in a year. Anger had risen by 9 points, driven primarily by fears about job automation and economic concentration. The domestic war was visible. Every headline, every arrest, every note reading "no data centers" was on the record. What happened in the Middle East 3 weeks before the Molotov landed on Altman's lawn was not. And that one changed the definition of everything. Before dawn on March 1st, 2026, Iranian Shahed drones struck 2 Amazon Web Services data centers in the United Arab Emirates. A third commercial data center in Bahrain was hit the same day. It was the first time in recorded history that a state had deliberately targeted commercial data centers during wartime. The attacks forced both facilities offline. Banking systems across the region failed. Payment networks went dark. Delivery apps, enterprise software, communications platforms that millions of businesses and individuals relied on stopped working. Amazon later confirmed the disruption to its Bahrain AWS region. The estimated cost? $150 million in customer refunds. Amazon had not modeled for this scenario. When engineers designed those facilities, the threat matrix was cyber attack, ransomware, denial of service, state-sponsored intrusion. Physical drone strikes on commercial infrastructure were not in the planning documents. When the Shahed drones hit, the company's incident response teams had no established protocol for "armed conflict has damaged our physical infrastructure." They improvised. It cost $150 million, and insurance didn't cover a cent because most data center policies explicitly exclude military conflict damage. Iran wasn't done. Its state media published a list of additional targets: Microsoft, Google, Apple, Meta, Oracle, Intel, HP, IBM, Cisco, Dell, Palantir, NVIDIA. Then, in April 2026, Iran appeared to specifically threaten Stargate UAE, a $30 billion joint venture between OpenAI, Oracle, SoftBank, and Gulf-based investment firm G42, announced just months earlier as the international arm of Altman's AI empire. Why? The reason is documented and specific. The U.S. military runs workloads on AWS infrastructure. Among them, AI models used for intelligence processing, including Anthropic's Claude, which operates in some intelligence functions. These data centers are not routing Netflix traffic and storing corporate emails. They are part of the operational architecture of the United States military and intelligence community. AWS CEO Matt Garman acknowledged after the attacks that the industry is rethinking cloud security as global conflict accelerates. A company called IronSight began testing counter-drone detection and interdiction systems at data center perimeters, the first time the industry had ever taken this seriously as a category. Security analysts estimate the addressable market for data center physical protection at up to $150 billion, driven directly by the scale of Altman's 250 gigawatt infrastructure plan. This is not the first time that critical infrastructure became a military target. Power plants, bridges, communication towers, wartime history is full of them. What is different here is the speed. The world's most consequential AI data centers went from concept to construction to active military target in roughly 36 months. Infrastructure of this strategic importance normally takes decades to attract this level of military attention. The AI arms race compressed that timeline to almost nothing. The 5 largest technology companies spent over $400 billion in capital expenditure in 2025. That figure is expected to rise another 75% in 2026. Every dollar of that spending requires electricity. electricity from a grid that is already straining under the weight of a demand it was not designed to carry. Here is the sentence nobody in any of those boardrooms said out loud. The infrastructure they are building, with your electricity, has become a legitimate military target, not a hypothetical, not a future scenario, a documented reality as of March 1st, 2026. Now think about where your electricity goes. Every point of increase on your utility bill has a destination. Some of it heats your home, some charges your phone, and an increasing share goes to a data center whose location you do not know, whose security you cannot assess, and whose military relevance you were never asked about. You didn't vote for this. You didn't invest in this. Nobody put it on a ballot. But Iran noticed. A 20-year-old from Texas noticed. 13 bullets through a city councilman's window in Indianapolis noticed. Sam Altman said the fear is justified. Sam Altman is not hiding in a bunker. Not yet. He is still announcing new campuses, still meeting with heads of state and sovereign wealth funds, still talking about 250 gigawatts by 2033. The machine does not stop because someone threw fire at the house of the man financing it. But the attacks changed something. The young man who carried that manifesto in Texas, the one listing AI executives by name and address, was described by those who knew him online as desperate. He believed, genuinely, that the race toward artificial general intelligence would end human civilization. He was 20 years old. He had never been violent before. That is not an excuse. It is a data point about where we are. The parallel that comes up, and that nobody in the industry wants to sit with, is the railroad barons of the 19th century. Men who built transformative infrastructure across the country without a democratic mandate, reshaping the economy in ways that generated enormous wealth and enormous resentment. What followed was regulatory reckoning, labor violence, and in some cases, assassination attempts. That process took decades. The AI economy is moving in years. What happens when 70% of the population opposes the infrastructure being built with their electricity, and nobody in a position of power is listening? What happens when state legislatures pass moratoriums, city councils take bullets, tech executives travel surrounded by armed guards, and Iranian military planners publish target lists of American technology companies? The answer is that we are already living through whatever comes next. It didn't begin as a warning. It started in March 2026, before dawn, in the desert outside Abu Dhabi. It is not a coincidence that the most powerful man in AI is also the man whose house was attacked twice in 4 days. Power this concentrated, computational, financial, geopolitical, tends to attract exactly this kind of gravity. It always has. Sam Altman said the fear is justified. What he didn't say is whose fear he was talking about.